Yeah. Instagram Live.
Okay, but I got your file up, so you're good.
Do I need to use my creepy voice?
No.
Can you guys hear me okay without the mic? Like I don't need it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Boston Design Academy participants.
Woo!
I'm excited.
So I hope you guys full bellies, focused, ready to give your presentations. You guys good? You gonna make it?
You got that.
Can I hear a verbal, you're gonna make it?
We're gonna make it.
So thank you guys for joining us for our little celebration of the end of Boston Design Academy. These students have spent the past 10 weeks going through what I like to call the gauntlet of the product design and development process. They started off with sketches and hundreds of Post-it notes, and now they've come with their cardboard, their 3D printed, their laser cut, their Cricut design, stitched and stabbed and sewn together prototypes to show you guys of what they think the future of toys can be. So, as some of you, well, everyone here probably knows, I'm a huge Marvel fan, and so, wow, okay, just gonna snitch a little bit on, okay, I see how it is. That's fine, that's totally fine. So, as some of you may or may not know, I'm a huge Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, or MCU fan. And so when it came to finding a topic for a BDA Spring showcase, I decided one of the things I would love for our students to do as their first run through or second run through their product design development process was to reimagine what would toys look like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So for the past 10 years, we've had Marvel toys thanks to Hasbro and other toy manufacturers or gadget manufacturers who created cool accessories for us Marvel fans to flex and showcase who we actually root for. I personally am a Princess Sharif fan, so when Black Panther came out, there were tons of toys for me to decorate my wall and actually be proud to go, yes, let me showcase to the world how big of a fan I am and why I stand this character. However, toy design has some shortcomings. All of us remember a moment in our childhood when we saw a commercial or we saw a newspaper ad for a toy and we were like, oh my God, I'm gonna save up my money, I'm gonna beg my parent, I'm gonna beg my grandparents to give me that toy. And then when you get the toy in your hand, it's just complete disappointment. You realize it doesn't work as stated, there's something wrong with it, it needs way too many batteries and your parents not running out in the middle of the night to get you those batteries. None of that stuff is happening. And so what we wanted our Boston Design Academy participants to do this term was to reimagine if you had NASA's budget, what would be a toy or a gadget that you would create inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And so we have 4 amazing groups here who took that task on, and not only did they imagine what it would look like with NASA's budget, they also imagined what it would look like if we were able to utilize the millions of patents that NASA has has in its portfolio that we as taxpayers are able to use for free. Technically, there's some asterisk clauses, in order to create technologies for us Earthlings based on space research. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Milton Irving from the Timothy Smith Network, who's been a longtime partner of Boston Design Academy. If he will bring his flag either way.
Oh, come on, man. There it is. That's my girl right there. I got it. All right. So I know, what is this? So I know Nisha spoke a lot about the program in itself. I actually just want to speak about how awesome you guys are, real briefly, before you guys get up here and do your thing. I know I see the nervous laughs. That's cool. You know, last year I did the same thing. I believe in you guys. I think that you guys are just tremendously awesome because you guys are doing something that might be outside of what you do on a daily basis. I know Nisha and her staff they have pushed you to the limits of learning, cooperating, doing different things, thinking about things differently. How do you create instead of being just users of toys or of any kind of objects? You guys have done a tremendous job in being able to not only think through what the future of toys could be, but you put it into practice and you've developed something. And you should be extremely proud, because I'm extremely proud of you all. And I can't wait. I'm gonna geek out when I see your stuff because I feel like it's all gonna be lit and it's gonna be all over social media and everywhere else. And we have people here sitting in the room who want to tell your story. They want to know about the work that you all have done, the hours that you put in, the passion that you displayed, so that more people can know about this groundbreaking work, that you guys are doing. You guys are leading the way for people to come behind you. And that is amazing. That's what leadership is, and that's what you all are, leaders. So I'm gonna step off the stage and let you guys do your thing.
You know what time it is?
Game time.
Without further ado, can I introduce Team Gamora? I was making sure you guys were good. I was making eye contact. You guys okay? Come on up, Team Gamora with Eliza, Alexandra, and Anthony. Watch your step. Let me know when you're. You should probably give us some.
Okay, so we are Team Rabbit Hole. I am Tony, this is Alexandra, and this is Eliza. We created Gamora utility belt.
Gamora is based off of the popular Marvel character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She was in two popular Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2. Most of you may know her as the daughter of Thanos. So,
So this is a prototype. So this is the secret that has everything that you represent, like Gamora. And here, this is our snack pocket. So if you're on the go and you want to carry your food or drink or something, you can put this stuff inside. And then right here is.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Gordon. Could we restart a little louder?
You need the mic.
Everyone, and please use the microphone. I know you don't want to do it, but we need to hear. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Okay, so we are Team Gamora. Our group name is Rabbit Hole. My name is Anthony. This is Eliza. This is Alexandra, and we created the Gamora utility belt.
Gamora is a popular novel character from two popular Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
This right here is our prototype. This is supposed to represent the half sphere. It was supposed to have a IR sensor inside, but we couldn't because of technical difficulties. This right here is supposed to represent the snack component. So when you're on the go, you can put like a small snack or a drink inside. This right here is supposed to represent the charging. It has your phone and your wireless charger inside. This is how it works. So it's supposed to charge your phone. And yes, thank you for listening.
So after each presentation, you are welcome to ask questions regarding the prototype to our groups. So does anyone have a question for our students?
I do. Of course, you know I do. So my question is, how long does it take to charge your phone? Let's say my phone was on E. How long will it take for it to charge?
What does on you mean? Like it's dead?
Yes, if it was dead. So yes. I don't want to use that word, but yes. 1%. Yeah, 1%.
Okay, so it would probably take the same amount of time or faster than using a regular charger.
Okay. Another question, follow up. So if I was flying in space, would it stay on? Like, is it really tight?
If you tighten it on top of,
I see. Where would I do that?
right here, you can
okay.
tighten it.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
I wanted to know a little bit more about the infrared sensor. What does it do and does it cause anything to happen?
The infrared sensor, like it alerts you when something is near you, near the belt or something. So yeah.
So if I was flying,
Mm-hmm.
again, and an asteroid or something was coming, it would tell me that I need to change course. Okay, all right, just making sure.
Or somebody's walking up behind you.
In regards to, you have one side of it that says you can store water or juice or snacks. What is the weight capacity that you could carry in that pouch?
I don't really think like there's a capacity. I think it's just the size that matters.
So it's a certain size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can put like a fruit snack inside of there, but you can't like put a whole bottle of water inside.
My question is, do you have anything that more related part of the boat? Like any swords and weapons, artifacts, anything?
The G is supposed to represent for Gomorrah, and we couldn't use weapons because we want it to be child friendly.
Speaking of child friendly, because this is a toy, what age range would you market this toy?
Like from 5 to 16, even though 5-year-olds might not have phones, maybe their parents will have phones since kids are always killing their parents' batteries, so that would be helpful to the parent too.
Okay, so last two questions.
Where would you use this at? Like, where would I take that buy from the store and use it?
You could use it anywhere
Like?
with your friends, like take it to school as long as you're allowed to have toys. Use it home if you're playing around. She had a question.
Last question?
So, did you have to work with NASA scientists to get something added, so was this something you all just did? And and also, the other question is, so what kind of equipment did you use to create this? What kind of printers and, development process, like sort of design process?
So for your first question, we actually looked up NASA patents to use in our design, so we didn't really like have to talk to NASA. And right here is our materials. So we used the white filament, as you can see. We use hot glue to glue everything. We use a square Garden tactical duty belt, which is right there. The micro USB lightning wires, which is for the IR sensor, but we don't have that. We use box cutters. We have the slim portable charger, QI wireless receiver, and a
IR sensor, and a 3D printer.
So, now that we have Team Gamora down, who will be next? Huh? I'm getting mixed signals here.
I think Erie wants to go back.
The shame. So, Team Hawkeye. Come on down. Wait, guys, come here. Stay here. Miss Mint, do you want to use the space here? Yes. That one? Try not to speak. You guys ready? Just press this one, okay? Yes. Right. I'm Erie.
I'm Nevaeh. I'm Smith.
And
we're the Avengers.
Now, I know our name may sound a little bit belligerent at first, but its purpose is the complete opposite. We're basically here to redesign how kids play with toys. We were tasked with creating a toy directly inspired by any one character within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we kind of dabbled between toys and characters such as Loki's scepter, Captain America's shield, which would essentially be a frisbee, and even an MCU nightlight. But then when we realized those kinds of toys would probably end up in the closet somewhere, we decided to go with Hawkeye's bow and arrow. And basically, I feel like we felt like this toy would be something that kids wouldn't get tired of easily. And the age range is 8 and up. I feel like there's no limit. There's no limit to a bow and arrow because who doesn't want to play with a bow and arrow?
Our design process began with ideation, in which we created a rough sketch, very rough. However, since our design was inspired by the bow and arrow wielded by Hawkeye in the movie with a few modifications, we found it fairly simple to move into how we would go about catting it. We ran into a few complications, more of it being concentrated around how we would get the arrow compartment to rotate.
So you may be wondering, hasn't this already been done before? And it has been done before, but it hasn't ever been done like this. I mean, how many toys can you name that have a rotating arrow compartment? And that's basically the key feature of our design. It has a rotating arrow compartment. And so basically when you wave your hand over it, it rotates, and then an arrow releases so that the wielder can easily pull it out and continue doing that. So every time they wave their hand over it, they can just grab it easily and shoot.
Just like before, you guys are allowed to ask a couple of questions regarding Team Hawkeye's prototype of a rotating bow and quiver gadget inspired by Hawkeye from the Marvel Cinematic Films. So any questions? Oh,
Question, as soon as the bow is released, does it automatically send another bow into, how does that other bow comes out of the chamber for you to use?
So we're still trying to figure that out, but basically it only rotates when you wave your hand over the side.
So okay, so each time so if you're running, the bow will be coming out all the time. Okay.
Or basically, what do you need, the material of the arrowhead or the arrowhead? Oh, I'm sorry.
So the material is going to be hard plastic, but since some of the arrow designs are kind of on the sharper end, each arrow is going to have a protection on the top. It's going to have foam, so it won't be dangerous.
Is there any type of battery in there? What's the?
So the rotation factor, we're basically using a servo motor. A servo motor.
Okay.
We're not sure yet if it's going to take batteries or not, but most likely not.
I love hearing about like the process of your going from the rough sketch to like throughout the entire project development cycle. I wanted to know what were some of the biggest challenges you faced as you're going through the process.
So basically we started out with a rough sketch to kind of figure out what we wanted the design to look like. But the design was mostly going to be not necessarily a complete replica, but we wanted it to resemble the era that he built, especially the one that uses Endgame. So after that, we decided, after we got like the rough sketches down and everything, we started CADing on Tinkercad. We started getting the pieces together, figuring out which is going to be the most essential component in the design, and that was essentially the rotating arrow compartment, because that's the part that was going to need the most work. So we kind of left the actual bow design for last, because this was the most important part. And that was basically kind of like the first half.
Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome, guys.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Thank you so much, Team Hawkeye. Next up, Team Cherie. That is the Black Panther group. Come on down. And I asked everyone to give us 1 moment. There's a separate document we need to pull up. Sorry, 1 moment. We try to have all this stuff straight, but. Okay, so this next project requires a little bit more context. And the context we're providing, how many of you guys have seen Black Panther? Okay, so pretty much a good majority of the room. So there's a particular scene in Black Panther that was the inspiration for this. It was very hard for us to find reference images, and because the screen's a little dark, we decided it would be a little bit better just to play the video.
Yeah, I'll explain. Yeah, right there. Right. So basically, what we have. No. So basically, what we made.
I said technical difficulties.
So basically, what we made was a sole with a sides of the shield. Press it. And we wanted to make. All right, go back. All right. It's just pausing when the shoe comes. All right. Pause right. All right. So basically, we wanted to make something similar to what just happened right there. Him just stepping on the sole and the shoe coming up and forming. And what we made was similar. Was called a panther anchor. And what we did to make it was we basically had a sole, but with the size of the shoe on it. And we had an Arduino board, a touch sensor, and 2 servos. And what we had it do was basically when you put your feet on the sole, the 2 sides of the shoe would come up with the micro servos, because the touch sensor would activate the Arduino board, and that will activate the micro servers.
Okay, so basically, what we did, we have the straps to come up from the sides of the shoes, so that it'll start off as the sole, and then it'll become the shoe. Oh, also, there's buttons inside of the shoes that's gonna make it for the sensors to make the shoe actually happen.
This is basically our prototype. It fell off. Basically, what it would be is just going to be a shoe, and you step on the sole, and it just come up. Any questions? Okay. We use nylon for the fabric, and we used, what was that? That was it, I guess. Yes. The sensors? We use touch sensors. Yeah, the back.
How much would it cost?
I would say like $30, or 20, I guess. Yeah, 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What? Oh. What? Okay, all right. 50. We feel 50. 50. All right. All right. You right there.
What is the NASA patent that you researched and included?
Sensors. They didn't have. All right, but it was basically a sensor patent. Yeah.
So their third group member is out, and so the sensors they're using that are related to the NASA patent are the temperature related as well as flex sensors that are used on astronaut suits. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a leeway. Their third partner with all their notes and presentation was gravely ill last night, and so they lost all that documentation. So I will give you a pass on that one. I'll come to your rescue.
Any more questions? Yeah.
What age can kids, or is this strictly for adults?
This is be like kids and adults, I would say.
Okay, so from what age?
Like 4 to on.
So for toddlers too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone? Anyone else?
Any other questions?
So 1 sec, we have to switch back. And also the sugar pack. And last but certainly not least, well, we know what team it is. I'm wondering when they're gonna come to the stage. If you guys can come this way. Instead of standing in front, but she'll keep right. Come, so when you're ready, just button.
I'm Ashanti.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Tulu. And we're the Avenginator.
Yeah. So basically what we have is the Thor Medical pillow, and basically it's a pillow that regulates a child's heart rate and temperatures throughout the night.
So our inspiration for the pillow is, well, what inspired us to make the pillow are children that are sick, and when they're sleeping throughout the night, their parents aren't able to monitor them at all times. So this pillow makes sure that everything's regulated.
So the features of the Thor Medical Pillow is first the heart rate, in which it is able to detect the child's heart rate and send signals to the parent if the heart rate is too high or low. And the other one is the fabric, which is Outlast. It is able to absorb heat, release heat, and store it too. So if the child is too cool, it will absorb the heat, and if it's too hot, it will store it.
And these are 3 prototypes. We have 3 different prototypes. So this one is more for the size comparison. This one has like the heart rate sensor in it, and then that one shows like the outline of the shape that the pillow is going to be. And that's it.
Oh, okay, we already have enthusiastic. Any questions for Team 4?
My question is, what's the size of it? Or does it go through the size?
So the size, well, these are just our prototypes, but the size is going to be 4 feet. That's it.
So what happens when the sensor goes off? Who gets alerted and how?
So the parent gets an alert through their phone so that they know to check on their child. Like it's an alarm that goes off.
So without a phone, is it useless?
What?
Without a phone, would this be useless?
Well, it's not useless because it will still regulate their temperature because the fabric will store, absorb, and release heat.
So just when it's on the parent, just when it's on the parents?
Yeah, but the alert is more for the heart monitor, which alerts the parents.
Sorry, this is more of a comment than a question, but I really think this is a cool aspect of the toy for like a medical pillow because this is something that you would market actually more to parents than to kids. And I think you did a really awesome job with like doing your research of how to market that to people who would actually buy it.
Thank you.
So I see that the material includes batteries, so would this bill be prioritized just in case?
The fabric doesn't require batteries, it's for the sensor.
So would it still be prioritized?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Team 4. Was there another question?
No.
I don't know what just happened there. Anthony, come on in. Okay. So, I would like you guys to give a big round of applause to our Boston Design Academy participants. See, it wasn't that bad, was it? Oh, it was? Okay, this will come up in your review? No? Okay. We're good. So for closing remarks, I'd like to bring back to the stage Milton, if you have some closing remarks and final thoughts for us.
I know you guys prototype. Would you guys like to do anything further with it? Would you actually like to make it? Would you like to bring it to market? Are you committed to doing that? The reason why I ask is because this is amazing, and I'm one of those people who like to see things really come to fruition in reality. You guys have put an amazing amount of time, effort, and energy in thinking through these things. And I would actually like to use them myself and give them for Christmas presents and everything else. And I am interested in figuring out how we make this work. This process that you guys have is a committed process, as you all know, to each other. As you've come upstage and you work with each other to develop, your prototype, which is amazing. I want to be committed to helping you all and Nisha think through what does it take to actually go the next step further, right? That's the commitment that you all have shown to me, that we need to figure out how we make this work. Because I see nothing but CEOs in front of me, bosses of their own industry and front of me, strong men and women who are leaders. And if you all are committed to this process, I am going to commit myself to you. And if you are committed to working with each other, then there's nothing that can't happen. Like you all can create your own business, right? That's the thinking you all should have. Like you all are actual creators and developers. And that is amazing. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys talk to your friends and tell them what you're doing. Have any of them said like, yo, this is dope or this is interesting? That they're one, and if it's just one person, then that's awesome. Because what does that mean? That one person will tell somebody else. You guys will create a new narrative and a new expectation for yourself and your classmates, your friends, your family, your community. So that's the commitment that you all have shown to me, and I'm thankful for it. Because we had to go out, Nisha and I, and others, trying to figure out, okay, how are we gonna make this happen? A lot of hours, a lot of what they call sweat equity that you all have put in. We want to make sure you all are willing to be that much of a team player and to produce. And we also need to go extra hard for you all as well. So I just want to thank you. I want you all to take what you have today and to go out. Put it on social media. I'm going to blast this like crazy, I'm trying to tell you. And people are going to say, well, where can we find these kids? Or who are they? Or what's the next steps? We're going to get that. And if you guys are committed to the next steps, then we're going to continue to commit ourselves to you. So I thank you all. That's my girl right here from last year. And so I want to see you all again. Like I don't want this to be the last time that I see you all. So I want to make sure that this doesn't just end today. I want to make sure that you all are saying, okay, Nisha, what's next? I want that energy, that passion that I saw up here today, moving forward. Because I'm looking at you all in your eye and I'm telling you that I'm committed to it. Give you my word. As long as you all can say, you know what, I'm down, let's figure out a way to make this happen, then we'll do it. And we will change the world. Seriously, you laugh, and I get it, but we will change the world. You will be a leader. You are a leader. And if more people can see the work that you all are doing, game changer, it's done. So I thank you all for the commitment. I thank you all for the laughter. I thank you all, for being able to work with one another, to support each other. If we can continue to do that as a people, as a community, as a city, we'll be in a lot better shape. Yes, Andrew, I know I'm not supposed to, but go ahead.
I just want to say something, piggyback on what you just said. I don't know, God, think of the guy's name, it's a long name, but anyway, he's a head of a very prominent trade association in the tech field. And what he says is that the fact you don't have a diverse tech industry is costing the country some $400 billion a year. He said companies that do well, innovation market does well when you have an inclusive tech market.
Absolutely, yes.
Market, and it's missing. So what Mr. Irving, or maybe he likes to call himself Milton, is saying is that he sees in you what other people don't see, but some people recognize that the contributions that you made here today can translate into better lives for people, but also because we do live in a capitalistic society, money, $400 billion a year, he said, is being lost because people who look like you are not in that industry.
Thank you. So that's my speech. That's my ask of you all to continue to drive forward and move forward and be game changers. And I'm going to step off and to say that you guys rock.
As I promised you guys earlier, I'll keep this short and sweet. Today is our last day together, unless you guys take me up on my invitation to rejoin us this summer. But what I wanted to say is that the past 10 weeks, I know it's been a very rough journey for all of us, going from I have no idea what I'm doing to 6 weeks later still having no idea what I'm doing. to 8 weeks later realizing you still have no idea what you're doing, but Ms. Nisha's volume is getting a little higher, and she's making sure that we're building things and things are whipping around and we have no idea what's going on. What the purpose of this program is, and the part I want you guys to take away from it, besides the fact that you guys were able to spend time together, we had some weird moments. You will probably refer to your teachers that I don't know if stems from me because Ms. Nisha's one of those role models that I'm not sure I want to imitate, and that's cool. I know you guys have the group chat. You don't know who I am in the group chat, but I know what's going on. But I want you guys to take away from this program that you came up with an idea and you've gotten to the step that most people, whether it's at Hasbro, whether it's at NASA, or whether it's at any of the product design or engineering firms in this city, in this country, or in this world, you are at the step that requires people to buy in. You did that in 10 weeks. And even though when we say 10 weeks, it sounds like 10 weeks, really, it was only about 50 hours, with about the majority of that time you figuring out what you were doing. And you were still able to present an idea that captivated people. That's what I want you to walk away with BDA with. So, because I'm trying not to be emotional, I know you guys think I have a heart of stone, but I'm actually really proud of you guys, especially the work you pulled this last week. Because I know some of you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. I received several emails late at night wondering why on earth are we still working on this? There is no hope. But seeing some progress today that you guys could recognize in yourselves, that's the reason I do this work. And I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to share your spring with you and getting you guys to that step. So those are my closing remarks. I'll also like you guys to give a round of applause. I know I try not to be emotional. Try to give a round of applause to our Mbadika team that helped out this spring, Andres and Al. I'll also like to give a big thanks to Juliet, who was so kind to give you guys some feedback on your prototypes and today. And also I want you guys to turn around and look at the iPad, because that's the NASA team who is supporting you guys in your research and patent. So wave to them and say thank you guys so much, all the way down in DC. And last but not least, I would like to thank the TSN, if you guys can just wave, because this is the first time the students are seeing you guys. These are the behind the scenes folks that have made sure that you guys are happy. Wink, wink, wink. And last but not least, just because I know other people are watching the live stream, I would like to thank the City of Boston Education Cabinet, as well as our other partners, especially Boston Public Library, for providing us such an awesome space for you guys to explore the design process. So without further ado, I want to get our photos, want us to get cleaned up. Oh, wait, what?
Here's one more thing.
Danisha!
Woo!
Look at her face. Like, what is this?
Excuse me.
Some of you may know this phrase from excuse me, please come up on the stage, please. When Apple does a keynote and when Steve Jobs is still alive, at the very end, when the main thing was done, he would say, but wait, there's one more thing, right? And that's when the big reveal would happen, right? I just want to acknowledge Nisha for the work that she has done in this program. There has been an incredible amount of work that has been done. This is our second major event in 2 weeks. And we have been working very hard. I am so proud of these young people. Part of the reason why I do this work with Nisha is I always know it'll come together at the end, right? It's a messy process. You can look upstairs, there's wires and glue all over the place, right? And some of these young people, they're very quiet in a lot of ways when they're working with us. And to see them come up on the stage and present the way they did, I was very impressed. I want to say this about Nisha. She is by far the most modest person I have ever worked with. You saw her face, right, when I came on the stage, right? She's like, what, me? This is not an act, this is who she is. The reason why I want to make sure she got acknowledged, because she always wants the spotlight to be on the young people, right? She never asked to be in the spotlight. She does stuff that she doesn't have to do, but she does stuff because that's what she feels she needs to do to make sure that they have the best possible experience. Sometimes I fuss with her because I'm like, you don't need to be doing that. Let me do it. Let Andres do it, right? But no, she's making flyers and editing documents and running errands and all that kind of stuff, right? Stuff that typically executive directors do not do. So I just want to make sure that we acknowledge that. And the last thing I'll say is part of my inspiration for making sure that she does get acknowledged, in one of our work sessions, you know, I got to control the music and we're playing music. Let me just say, she knows her music. She knows the old school stuff, she knows the stuff, right? Some of the young people saw that today when we were getting ready. One of my favorite songs is called Be Ever Wonderful by Earth, Wind & Fire, right? And there's a line in the song that makes me think about Nisha. And at the end of that song, the line goes, don't let the world change your mind, okay? And that refrain happens over and over again. You can go on Spotify, Apple Music, you can play Be Ever Wonderful, Earth, Wind & Fire. It's on the All in All album, 1977. And that's what I think about Nisha is that my message to her is, do not let the world change your mind. She has a vision, she has a plan to take Milton up on his offer to have these young people produce things, to make things, right? Not only be consumers of things, right? So on behalf of staff, me, Andres, and the students in TSN, I want to present you with these flowers. Now let me say, these are in the Mbadika colors.
Yes, I noticed.
And let me just say, I had a very long conversation with the florist because blue and gold are not natural flower colors, okay? Certainly not this time of the season. It's a little purplish, but they're not really blue flowers, right? So I had this whole long conversation, went over flowers, the whole thing, right? But the roses are as close to gold as I could find. So thank you, Nisha, for all the work and everything. Sorry.
Okay, we don't have to go. Just one quick thing, because again, you know, we were talking about support and how we're going to make this happen. And Nisha knows we're talking about fundraising and everything else to continue the program. So today, TSN is and has committed $150,000 to help continue this work that you guys are doing. This breaking news? This breaking news? It's breaking news. Oh my goodness, okay. So, I just want you all to know that because this is because of, not because of you, but because of the work that she does. And she doesn't know anything about this, of course, but she doesn't need to know about this. Now she does. Because she is amazing, she's a rock star, she's a leader, and she leads me just like she leads you all because I don't know everything. And so I just want to make sure that you all know that she's been fighting for you, pushing for you. When the lights go off and you guys go home, she's still working and grinding. So this is because of her and because of you, so I'm stepping up.
I don't really know what to say at the end of that, but thank you. And while I process, while Dictator Nisha is still present before she shifts to I don't know what just happened the past 10 minutes, thank you guys. I want to have a photo before you guys have to go, so can I get my photo? For everyone else, thank you so much for participating. Yes, we'll still be, we'll still be here for 10 minutes. If you'd like to ask the students any questions or you want to take some food, please take it. My fridge is kind of full right now, so please take the leftovers. And I know it's supposed to be more put together right now. I don't know what else to say, but thank you guys.
Yay, Nisha!
So, BDA participants, up, Adam, on stage, because I gotta get you back to your parents.